Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm back at it again with another video. I actually woke up getting ready to prepare to put the final touches on this top 50 list. I mean, really, this portion is just the top 10, but I was getting ready to listen back to it to see if there was any edits or any mistakes that I made that I wanted to fix real quick. But I guess I got to put that on hold for a little bit. I'll have that video out later on tonight. It was going to be around 3 or 4, but I'll have it out like around 7 or 8 now because I want to make sure there's no mistakes. Plus, I want to keep it as far away and separated from this video because I know this video is going to most likely overshadow that video. So let's talk about this real quick. I woke up and I see my comment section is somewhat blowing up on like 3 separate videos that are recent talking about this whole situation regarding Ryan Nemeth and CM Punk. And I didn't cover it initially like a year ago because that was around the time when my channel got deleted. So this is my first time covering it, but I'm very aware of the situation. I figure I'll kind of take you guys on the lore and we'll do the background first and then we'll talk about the current situation so you can have context if you're not aware of the entire situation. So check this out. This is back on August 18th of 2023. All right. So when you hear some references, understand this article is a year old. I got to give you the back lore first. CM Punk's backstage confrontation with Ryan Nemeth was said to be very aggressive. A new account of Punk's argument with Nemeth was published in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. The account begins with Punk approaching Nemeth while Nemeth was against a wall on June 21st, displaying the tweet that angered him and told Nemeth, and I quote, "Do we have a problem, or are we good, or do we have to take it outside?" One phrase used to describe the behavior was Punk acting or ranting like a madman. Another source spoken to that defended the former world champion said that Punk was, and I quote, handling business like a man and that all was taken care of and things were settled. Despite the issue not being settled, it was the way they wrote that. Despite the issue not being settled, it was decided to keep quiet on the matter as no matter what it would look like, hang on, I just popped up. Despite the issue not being settled, it was decided to keep quiet on the matter as no matter what it will look bad on Nemeth, furthering confirming the report that various talents are choosing not to speak up on the matter. The argument continued into the hallway, with Nemeth's defense being that his behavior was his on-screen character of being antagonistic and Punk is the returning babyface. Punk saw this differently, saying to Nemeth that this wasn't the time for this shit. The pair will shake hands, but Nemeth has not been booked for a TV appearance since. The next scheduled appearance was the August 12th episode of Collision, but Nemeth was sent home. Apparently, this is what caused the rift between the situation. Punk made his return to AEW TV on the debut episode of Collision on June 17th, where subtle references were made to some of the executive vice presidents. What followed next was Punk referencing those that thinks he needs to apologize, to which Punk said he is sorry that the only people softer than him are the wrestlers who think like that. Nemeth would tweet out the phrase, and I quote, literally the softest man alive, shortly afterwards. While Punk was not directly named in the social media post, the intention was heavily implied and many believe Punk to be the subject. Sorry, there was a bunch of ads coming through while I was reading that, but you got the reference though for the most part, right? Okay, so that's the back lore. That's the story. Now we come up a year and a half later, yesterday. Ryan Nemeth alleges harassment by CM Punk and lack of response by AEW. For a year, start that back over again. All right, make sure there's no ads this time. Fuck that shit. Over a year has passed since CM Punk's acrimonious departure from AEW. With Punk now back in WWE and both sides, for the most part, having moved on, the situation seems settled. Unfortunately, the issue was reopened this week by a former AEW star who paints an unflattering picture of both Punk and AEW. Fightful Select reports that, back in September, former AEW star Ryan Nemeth filed a complaint that was sent to numerous AEW executives. In the complaint, Nemeth, and I quote, outlined a timeline of events where he claims he faced threats, harassment, and even abuse from Punk, while also accusing AEW of failing, and I quote, to respond to any of these incidents, as well as encouraging Nemeth to cut an anti-Punk promo. Nemeth's timeline includes, and I quote, emails, texts, phone call logs, and other records, and also claims that Punk had an undisclosed executive position within AEW, which, by the way, I think pretty much everybody knows. For the most part, I think he was a consultant, right? If I'm not mistaken, someone can correct me. Many will recall that Punk and Nemeth had a famous run-in following Punk's return to AEW in June of 2023, with Punk reportedly confronting Nemeth over a tweet the latter had sent days before. Nemeth claims Punk threatened him during this confrontation and that he had previously expressed concerns to then AEW legal rep Mega in April that Punk would target him. He further states that Parekh, Tony Schiavone, and the Young Bucks all were sympathetic towards him, as was Jon Moxley when Nemeth was subsequently not booked for the next 2 months. Nemeth believed he was silently fired following Punk altercation. During that time, Nemeth contacted Parekh several times, expressing concern that he'd been, and I quote, silently fired over his incident with Punk, while Parekh assured him he still had a job. Nemeth would subsequently be booked for a Collision taping in August, only to be removed by Punk. After this, Nemeth contacted Parekh again, and I quote, pleading for action to be taken against Punk. 4 days later, he was flown to AEW Dynamite, where Nemeth claims AEW wanted him to take a shot at Punk in a promo. Shortly after, Parekh departed from AEW, and Nemeth's communication continued with Chris Parekh and Margaret Stavely. He would also be involved in the investigation against Punk following the all-out incident with Jack Perry, where he reiterated he had been communicating his concerns about the situation, as well as being made the fall guy. Those involved with the conversation said it revolved less around Nemeth's and Punk's issues and more about determining Punk's place in AEW going forward. Oddly enough, Nemeth's final AEW match would occur in November. The same week, Punk would return to WWE, though his contract wouldn't expire until 2024. Excuse me. Nemeth believed AEW and owner Tony Khan held him responsible for having to fire Punk, and that agent Sanjay Dutt pitched ideas for him to no avail. He also claims that Peck offered Nemeth a settlement, dependent on signing an NDA afterward, only for it to be withdrawn while Nemeth was thinking it over. With his complaint, Nemeth is looking for financial considerations and an overhaul of AEW's policy, while also noting he had discussed the situation with mental health professionals. Okay. Despite his issues with Punk, Nemeth also believes that Punk wasn't necessarily the catalyst for AEW lacking a safe environment, which he felt the AEW roster deserved. Nemeth laid more blame on Peck, who he says stonewalled him, didn't take Nemeth's claims seriously, and didn't review Nemeth's timeline. And then Fightful said they also received word that Nemeth and AEW brass had met months ago, with Nemeth even getting a chance to speak with Khan. From this conversation, Khan entertained the idea of bringing Nemeth back into the fold as a talent, though it was noted that Nemeth expressed no interest in a return. At this time, AEW hasn't commented on the situation. Okay, so you have you have all the... What a wild fucking story. This man said he had to seek mental health. Oh my, I guarantee you this is all. Okay, so my initial comments first. Okay, we're going to do the pros and cons of the situation because I feel there's a bunch of things that we have to talk about. Okay, one, like I said, and I'm never going to change my position on this. I don't care who hates me. I don't give a fuck. I said it once, and I'm keeping it consistent. Nope. Same thing I said about CM Punk and Jack Perry. It's the same thing I'm going to say about CM Punk and Ryan Nemeth. I do not, nor will I ever agree about going out there and trying to fight your fellow employees at work. I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't care who the hell gets angry about that situation. No, that is not the right time to be fighting. That is not the right time to be doing any of that stuff. You take that shit off the clock and you go handle it like man off the clock. That's fine. At a workplace, no, especially if you're in a higher up position like CM Punk. I would never agree with that. I said the same thing about Jack Perry, and apparently a bunch of fucking children had a problem with that. That's fine. I know that most of you live with your moms, and I get it. You never had a job a day in your fucking life, or you are one of the most unprofessional pricks that ever existed. But in the real world, you don't fight people at your workplace. That's not how you handle business. You clock out and you go take that shit behind the building. You go take it to your hood, your project, your set, wherever you from, and then you handle it there. Don't agree with that. Don't agree at all with intimidation or fighting at the workplace. Not at all. Sorry, no, Punk was in the wrong in that. Don't give a fuck what anyone says. Now, with that being said, separate issue. Ryan Nemeth. Oh my God. Now, there is a part of me, because I know people are going to probably look at this and they're going to say to themselves that Ryan Nemeth sounds like the world's biggest pussy. And yes, on the face, this man sounds like he needs to be douched. That's how much of a pussy he sounds like. He sounds like such a frightening child, bro. Oh my God. Like, there's a part of me that thinks to myself, was he really that afraid of CM Punk? Like, was he really afraid that CM Punk was going to dog his shit in? Or, like, was it a situation where he kind of felt like Punk was maybe, in a higher up position, and maybe he thought to himself that his job security was at risk? That's what I'm thinking. There's no way he was physically upset with CM Punk, right? No, I'm not here to say that I could take CM Punk on in a fight. I don't know. Like, I've never fought the guy before. That's stupid. Even if you feel like you can't take a guy in a fight, not to say that I can or that I can't, but never judge a man just based off of unforeseen or even seen circumstances. Until you put your hands on a man, you that sounded gay as fuck, but you get what I'm trying to say. Unless you actually fought a guy for the first time, never judge a book by its cover. That's how you get your ass straight trashed. But just, this one time, Ryan Nemeth, you are Dolph Ziggler's brother. So I can only presume that, you have an amateur background yourself, right? Or you have some kind of background. I mean, you're Dolph Ziggler's brother. This is just me presuming, okay? Knowing that Dolph has an amateur background and knowing that Dolph most likely knows how to fight pretty goddamn well and can probably take care of himself, I'm going to presume the same thing about Ryan. I guarantee you if Punk and Dolph got into a fight, I got money on Dolph. You know what I mean? It's just weird to see someone so afraid of CM Punk knowing Punk's history. You know what I mean? Or could this just be a ploy? Now, I have no doubt that Ryan most likely did meet up with people to have concerns over his mental health. I have no doubt that Ryan Nemeth most likely talked to a bunch of EVP agents or people in higher up positions about CM Punk. Again, people are going to clown Ryan Nemeth for looking like a straight bitch and all this, but I think people, they're not thinking past a certain point. I think personally Ryan Nemeth planned this whole shit out. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, the tweet that he said to CM Punk, that shit wasn't in character. Who the fuck are you fooling? And in what way? How is that in character, bro? How? Selfish. I was saying that in character because CM Punk was returning as a babyface. Wasn't the Young Bucks at that time babyfaces too? Right? Like, I don't know if it was around that time or a week prior or a week after. Didn't they just have the fucking BCC match and the fucking Blood and Guts match? Or like, wasn't it like a month later? They were building up to that match, or it just happened somewhere around that time frame. They were baby faces at the time too, homie. They didn't turn heel till later on that year. Even the beginning of the year, this year. What are you talking about? Your timeline isn't off. You were shooting, bro, and that's fine. You got comments about CM Punk. You got comments about CM Punk. But like I said, I think when he said that, that was just to get his feelings off his chest. Okay, that's fine. Then you showed up to work. You didn't expect anything. Punk did confront you. There was a whole bunch of hullabaloo. And maybe even at that point in time, you didn't think about this whole scheme, right? And as time went on, when you recognized that you weren't getting booked as often, maybe even when you got sent home after that Collision taping, thanks to what CM Punk, his influence, at that point in time, you cultivated a scheme and you started to record everything and you started to do certain things that would make your story seem a lot more credible so you can have more of a case when it came time to, pretty much sue AEW. I mean, that's all this is in the end of the day, right? In the end of the day, this is just my opinion. I don't think for a second that Ryan Nemeth just stood there like a bitch and just took all that shit from CM Punk. I don't think for a second he is mentally abused and we need to change AEW's policy in order to do certain things, or we need to. This is a 40. How old is Ryan? If Ryan's not 40, he's pushing in on 40 because Dolph Ziggler right now, we were born like around the same time. I think either we were born on the same day or Dolph Ziggler was born 2 days or 3 days before me as far as my birthday. But I think Dolph was, let's see, I was born in 92. He was born I think he's 12 years older than, so he was born in 1980, I think. 80 or 79. Let's just say Dolph's around 44, 45 years old, all right? So that means Ryan has to be like 39 or 40 or 41 years old, around that frame. Meaning he's only like 5 or 6 years younger than Punk. Homie, come on, bro. Trying to say people are bullying you. That's essentially what it is. He's making the claim that his grown ass was being bullied by CM Punk in his late 30s while Punk was in his mid 40s. The brother related to the collegiate athlete, was bullied by another man in his late 30s while that other man was in his mid 40s. Come on, bro. The game is real, bro. I applaud him though on the effort. You gotta make it look a little bit more. I'm not even gonna say that because he's fooling a lot of people right now. He's fooling a lot of people. A lot of people online, they're either they're coming to his defense, saying all the things that you have to say in order to, trash CM Punk and all that other kind of stuff, right? Okay, so that's what you want. Or B, the opposite end of this is people are legitimately calling him a pussy. And they're saying, dude, you're way too old to be claiming to be bullied type of shit. So either way, like, he's getting what he wants. Either A, you take his claims seriously, or B, you take his claims and you still take his claims seriously, but you take it as an opposition towards him. That's what he wants. When in reality, this is all just a ploy to get money out of AEW. And good for him. Get that money if you can, homie. But not for a second do I believe that he was bullied or that he feels mental anguish from CM Punk making him feel bad and feeling like he was mentally distressed from all the things that CM Punk and AEW has put him through. I mean, notice though, AEW told him, or Tony Khan at least from what we're reading right now, apparently they were trying to bring him back in as a talent. And Ryan was like, fuck you. No. Why would I come back as a talent and be treated like a jobber? Be treated like an underneath guy? Maybe making 5 G's a year? maybe 6Gs, and not even that. I might be making 5Gs, high-end 5Gs. Why do that when I can sit on my ass and I can make probably 8 figures? You know, maybe than making 100,000, I can make 10 million. I can get the top bucks, and I ain't talking about the young bucks. I'm talking about yo bucks. Bro, good on him though, man. I don't care what anybody says. I think make that money, bro. Anyway, anyhow, anytime. Look, it's a billionaire in the end of the day, so I don't really give a shit. I'm sorry. I can't bring myself to care about a billionaire losing 1% of his money because he himself couldn't take control of his environment. That's on him. That's on him. That's on him. That's on him. People need to recognize though, Ryan Nemeth, he don't give a fuck what you think at this point. Homie playing the game right now. And honestly, he's playing it pretty fucking well. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to how you felt about the topic today. Oh, Devontae, here you go again. You're trying to be different. Oh, you're trying to be contrarian. You're motherfucker trying to be contrarian. Am I really? It's pretty fucking obvious. I mean, what you want me to say? Want me to side with everybody else who ain't really looking past, you know, a certain point? Okay, go ahead, do it. I don't give a fuck. But it's pretty obvious what Buddy's trying to do. He's trying to make a lawsuit so he can get a settlement out of it. It's pretty fucking obvious, but sure. Whatever you feel like and however you feel. Like I said, later on tonight, around 7 or 8, I will have out the top 10. Well, it's top 50, but today, 50 through 41, or yeah, 50 through 41, or I guess 50 through 40? No, 50 through 41 of the worst fucking stupid, controversial bullshit things of all time in wrestling. Okay, you get the point. I'll see you guys later on tonight. Deuces and a P eyes.